Welcome to the V. Lenore Show. Here, we will discuss lifestyle, beauty, celebrity gossip, and current events in our own way, my way, V style. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Welcome to the V. Lenore Show. Here, we will discuss lifestyle, beauty, celebrity gossip, and current events in our own way, my way, V style. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the V. Lenore Show, and I'm your host, V. Lenore. How y'all doing today? Happy MLK Day. It is a beautiful thing to have an interview on a grand holiday, the first holiday of the year outside the New Year's. And for the first time that I can remember, this is the first time I ever recall MLK Day actually falling on his birthday. So happy birthday, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., for all that you have sacrificed for us. So with that said, hi, everybody in the chat. Welcome. We are currently streaming to Facebook and YouTube, and I'm excited to see all of you here. Hi, I am Shay Breezy. Hey, Meow Meow. Thank you. Hello, my beautiful, beautiful moderators are here. Fedora, Ashell Loves. I see Know Your Own Worth. Honey, it's so good to see you. Also, Miss Kimberly Black is here. Thank you to all of the moderators. Please, as we are sharing information, at some point I will be giving you our guests' contact information to place in the chat as well. Hi, Cool Gamer. Hi, Michelle's daughter. Hi, Azure TV. How are you? Quiet Storm is here. Hello. House of the Princess. Hi, how are you? Hi, Grandma Love. Hi, Faith is the Substance. Hello. Those are my YouTube friends. And those of you that are watching on Facebook, I may not be able to see you right away, but trust, you can always come on over to the YouTube party. All right. It's always a party in this chat. Hi, Jerome. How are you? All right. So let's just get to it. All right, so I'm excited to have this guest on today. When we say multifaceted, this one is multifaceted. Hi, Leo. So let's see. He is an actor. He is an author. He is a choreographer. He is a dancer. He is a fitness guru. He is so many things. You know, they say that James Brown was the hardest working man in show business. Then I heard Tom Joyner say that he was the hardest working man in show business. I don't know. This one right here, you might have them all beat. So with that said, let me welcome to the stage my friend and super uber talented person. All right, Mr. Darrin Henson. Darrin. Hi, Darrin.
Hey, Val, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good to be on with you. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you. The other day I was sitting here thinking, I was like, dang, how long have I known Darrin?
Quite
Darrin,
a
do you
few
know?
years.
20. It's 20
Quite,
years.
yeah, quite a few years.
That's crazy. And when I met you, you had a full-blown career long before I even met you. When I met you,
Yeah,
you were on Soul Food. You'd already had a lifetime of things and achievements that you had accomplished by the time I met you.
yeah. It's really interesting. Somebody asked me the other day during the interview, and I never thought about it that way. But I've been like a childhood, what they call them, the childhood stars, because I've been in the entertainment industry since I was 16. So, but I really never thought about it that way. But yeah, I've been in the entertainment industry since I was 16. Notably, of course, because of dance and choreography. But yeah, since I was 16.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So okay, so let's start this off then. Where are you from originally?
Originally from my mom and my dad. No, no. I was born and raised in the Bronx,
Okay.
in New York City. Born and raised in New York City.
And I remember you telling me that you knew J Lo from back in the day, like growing up. Is that true?
Well, not, a lot of people say and have written, and of course, it's just kind of been perpetuated in the industry. But we didn't know each other when we were young. We met each other during my dance and my choreography days. But in
Okay.
my early 20s, yeah, we worked together very early on. I hired her as a dancer many times
That's crazy.
before she moved out of New York and went and started working on Living Color and doing different things because
Mm.
she was a dynamic dancer and performer back then. So yeah, we've known each other for a very long time. And then of course she called me back to do her Love Don't Cost a Thing video.
Yes, yes. Okay, so you said you started in the business at 16. Did
Yes.
you have formal dance training, Darrin, or did you just naturally know how to dance?
Well, people ask me where did I train? I tell them I took the 6 train to all of my auditions. So,
You
so yeah, I was trained. But
okay.
no, I mean, as it stands, the way people think of training, I did not have formal training. My training happened in my room, in my bedroom, watching television, watching
Mm.
Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, watching Soul Train, watching Paula Abdul, watching all, movies like The Wizard of Oz and West Side Story. That was my training, watching television shows like Fame and kind of mimicking what I saw at that time. That's how I really learned to dance. And of course, as a street dancer, you're in circles all the time. So, my street dance name is Pop Crazy. And so many
Shut
people
up.
knew me as Pop Crazy. On
Not
If you look
pop.
at old episodes of Club MTV, I was called Pop Crazy. On there, that was my street dance, is my street dance name, Pop Crazy.
I never knew that. Oh wow. Okay. All right, pop crazy. Okay, so at 16, where was the you said you started at 16. Did you just start going out on auditions for like videos? Like what were you how did you get into the business at 16?
Well, I actually met my first mentor at 16. This is when I was still in high school, of course.
Mhm.
My theater workshop teacher, Sandra Scottnick, sent me on a assignment. It was my first professional job. I made $125, and I picked two other people to go with me, and we met a gentleman at that time at Castleton State College. His name Scott Sterling. The world would get to know him as DJ Scott LaRock.
Okay.
He was the senior graduating class of Castleton State College. Of course, he's the one that formed and created Boogie Down Productions with
Oh,
KRS.
yeah.
And rest in peace, Scott. And he's who put DJ D Nice on, KRS-One. He was actually my first mentor. And we met while he was at Castleton State College, and we started touring Vermont because he was a DJ. And then we put a dance group together called B Boys in Action at that time. And then when I graduated high school, I left and went and joined Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus.
Shut up.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't know that.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is a little bit of information backstory that you are getting on your show.
Yes.
And I joined the circus. We toured America for about a year. It's interesting because in my book, I'll show you this. In my book, Intimate Thoughts and the Spirit of Change, I actually talk about that. So you guys will get a bird's eye view of a picture that I have in the book, because I talk about the circus in the book very early on, of course, because of it was my very, very humble beginnings. And here's a picture of me. Let's see if I can get that for you guys there in the
Oh,
circus. If you see me, I look like Boogaloo Shrimp from the movie Breakin' down there at the bottom. And yeah, you see that? And I talk about the circus in the book.
wow.
And
Wow.
in the following year, uh, I went to Japan. I lived in Japan for a year with the circus. They had what you call the red unit in
Mhm.
America. We had the gold unit. And so I learned Japanese. Watashi wa odori-san Darrin Henson. So I learned to speak Japanese there and spent a great time and cultivated myself and still have friends there till this day.
I bet. I bet. Wow. I didn't now I definitely didn't know that Jap that you spent a year in Japan, because my son is obsessed with Japanese culture. He too speaks Japanese as well, studied it in college,
Yeah,
and is brushing up on it again right now as we speak. So that's awesome.
yeah. It's
Okay.
really amazing.
Yeah.
It's a
And
very, very dynamic culture.
the other thing is, I bet you are huge in Japan, because they love great American entertainment,
They love us, and
Okay, I was gonna say
they
that. Yeah,
yeah,
that's exactly
well,
right.
it's
That's true.
true. They love people of color. They honor that. They know that they're very, very well read and cultivated people. So they do their homework
Yeah.
on the Black diaspora,
Yep.
and rightfully so.
Yep.
Um, we are the gods and goddesses of this earth, and so they study the greats. And
That's right.
so, with that being said, they have learned a lot about our culture and perform in it. You know, they're
Mhm.
great falsettos. They can dance now. They're great street dancers. They're great musicians
Mhm.
because they're focused people. They're focused people.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so after the circus, you come back. When did you start getting into videos and choreography? When did all that happen? And how
Well, as
fast
soon,
did it happen?
yeah, as soon as I came back to New York, I jumped right in, and I have to give props to one gentleman in particular. His name is Lionel Martin,
Okay.
who was the CEO of Classic Concept Productions, and this was the director that was doing all the early Bobby Brown, all the early
Mhm.
BBB videos, all the early Color Me Bad videos, the
Mhm.
SWV videos. This
Mhm.
was the man on the scene that was creating the culture of videos, in New York City. And he asked me to do my very first music video as a dancer, which was MC Rel and the House Rockers, a guy out of Philadelphia, sounds exactly like Rakim.
Oh, really?
And my second video was a video by a guy named B Fats. Now, I just danced in that video. My very first choreography in terms of the video was for an artist on the Def Jam label called Don Newkirk. And he had a song called Sweat You. And you can see, these videos on YouTube. Sweat You, that was my very first music video that I ever choreographed. And Lionel Martin gave me my start in music videos. And that led to the SWVs, the So Into Yous, and the Right Here's, and the Color Me Bad, Sex You Up, the
Yeah.
High She's Playing Hard to Get, all my early choreography.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Okay. So, Darrin, let's just break it down. Who are some of these? Okay, let me name who I know, and then you tell me who I missed off this list. Okay. So, I know that you have choreographed for J
Let
Lo.
me say this before you start. I
Okay.
did not do the Backstreet Boys. I did
Okay.
not. People have a tendency of saying Backstreet.
No.
I did the other group, which was NSYNC.
NSYNC.
Never Backstreet.
Okay. All right. So, definitely NSYNC,
Yes.
J Lo,
Yes.
Britney,
Yes.
Usher. Did you do?
I danced with Usher. I didn't choreograph for Usher.
Okay. 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 So, you danced with Usher. Um, who am I missing?
You're missing Deborah Cox. You're missing the
Oh,
Spice Girls. You're
oh
missing Prince. You're missing George Michael. You're missing Michael Jackson.
no,
You're missing.
wait, stop. Wait. You choreographed for Prince and Michael Jackson?
Yes.
You choreographed? I knew you danced with them. I
Yes.
didn't know choreography happened
Yeah.
with
I
them.
choreographed a video for Prince called Face Down. And I choreographed whenever, I went away with him. I choreographed, part of the stage show, and I performed with him at times on stage. And Michael Jackson, most 99.9% of it was me dancing with Michael Jackson, but I choreographed one segment for Michael Jackson, and that came from me doing a piece while we were doing Dangerous. We were in rehearsal. Michael stopped the rehearsal and said, teach me that. And he asked the cameraman to film it. And by the time we got to Germany, Michael had perfected what I had choreographed, and he performed it. So yes, I choreographed for Michael Jackson, but I don't take credit for any of the other stuff, just the segment that he performed in Germany. But so that was still choreography. And I worked with Michael Jackson for about a year on different shows, and traveled with him, and it was amazing, and one of the highlights of my life.
I guess. So which came first, Michael or Prince for you?
I performed and worked with Michael in 1995, and Prince was 1996.
Wow. Okay. So tell me, how do you work with Michael Jackson? How does that even happen? Like, do you go out on an audition, or does he say, I see this guy right here, I want him? Like, how does this even happen?
What I say is hold the vision and trust the process. First, you have to have the vision. Scripture says people perish for their lack of vision.
Amen.
So it tells you you're supposed to create a vision for yourself. And as a child, that was my vision, to work with Michael Jackson, literally from the perspective of me having dreams about being in the household with them. I didn't know how it was going to happen. I couldn't tell you. I wouldn't have been able to write how it happened, but I will tell you how it did.
Okay.
I was working with Montel Jordan in 1992,
Yes.
and we were doing a movie called The Nutty Professor. And in The Nutty Professor, we were dancing with Montel Jordan.
Okay.
And it was during a lunch break that we had, and everybody normally congregated together and stayed together. I'm pretty much a person of journey. I walk off, discover things. So I walked off on the lot in Universal Studios, and people were like, where are you going? I was like, I'm going to walk. They're like, you're not going to stay here. You might meet Eddie Murphy personally, and da-da-da-da. And I was like, no, I'm good. I'm just going to walk. And so when I was walking, I walked on this huge set. It was this beautiful white set that had this futuristic look. Well, I walked into the set of Scream.
Shut up.
And I walked on the set, and there was a gentleman that was standing there. He was like, can I help you? And I was like, oh, I'm just walking around. He's like, what are you doing here? And I was like, well, I'm working with Montel Jordan and Eddie Murphy. We're doing Eddie Murphy's new movie, The Nutty Professor. And he was just really kind and very gracious. Basically, that person turned out to be Travis Payne, Michael Jackson's choreographer.
Yes.
And so he showed me around the set of Scream, and I spent my lunch break there, which was about an hour. And by the time I left, I had a Scream t-shirt, Scream bag, Scream bag tag, Scream hat. And when I went back to set, they said, you know, where were you? And I said, well, I was on the set of Michael Jackson's new video. And nobody believed me. Nobody believed me. And it didn't matter to me. It never matters to me if people believe me. But when the video came out, of course, I had all the stuff from, you know, the video, and then they were like, "Oh my God, you were telling the truth." And by that time, I was, you know, really focused on my departure from Montel Jordan's tour, because, you know, I kind of did it all, and I was setting up to because I knew about the audition for Michael Jackson because I kept in touch with Travis. And so he told me when the audition was, and I auditioned and made the cut. And then next thing you know, I'm flying out to Budapest in Hungary to do the history video with Michael. So that's the picture that everybody sees.
Yep.
When you see all the soldiers, when you see the picture of me with Michael Jackson, that was from Hungary in Budapest.
I remember, and then you all performed, was it the MTV Awards when you guys did Dangerous?
Dangerous.
That is my favorite Michael Jackson live performance on any show ever, is that. Yeah. And that was before I met you. And I was like, oh my God, damn, you were in that?
Incredible. Incredible. I remember coming down from the rafters, right? And Michael's already on stage, and I see the other dancers come down. I was one of the people that came down from the rafters, and my whole body was alive and on fire, and I'm seeing everything in real time. I can see the audience, I can see Michael, I can see the dancers, and I'm coming down. And it was so surreal for me because it was all in the moment. It was incredible. It was incredible.
Okay, so Darrin, look, I know you're a professional, and I know by that time you had done a lot, you know, of performing around the world. Obviously, you had a lot of experience. But if that were me, I would be, I mean, were you nervous at all performing with or in front of Michael Jackson?
Well, of course you're nervous, but you've got to control your nerves. The reason that we were brought onto the project is because you have to be professional, and you don't focus on fame. You don't focus on your nerves. You when you realize that you're here because you're supposed to be, and you're good enough, which is why you're there, because you wouldn't be there if you weren't. Then all the other stuff is left behind. You just focus on the creativity. You focus on the magic that you're making for the people. You're focused on the performance. You're focused on the magic for the people. And so you don't get caught up in nerves. You focus and you dive into the energy and the expansion and the cacophony that happens when you're working with an energy like Michael Jackson. And then you allow that to overtake you, and then it becomes a part of you, which was how I was able to do all of the things that I did afterwards, right? Sure. Because I had magic on me.
Sure. Okay, bear with me. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this Michael Jackson Prince stuff, but I got to ask. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I saw This Is It, and I saw how professional Michael was and how a perfectionist he was about making sure everybody was on point, that every beat was happening as he anticipated that it should. Did you see, what did you notice about how he was a boss on stage and even behind the scenes?
Everything that you've ever heard about his space that he held for perfection is true. I witnessed it all. I saw it, I heard it, and I experienced it all. What you got to see on This Is It, now you understand why he is Michael Jackson. Now you understand the magic and what it took. Same way Prince, right? How did he create that music and those sounds and those albums? It was the equality of how both of them worked. And, you know, do you know anybody that works that hard? I mean, think about it. This is what made them phenomenal and outstanding and incredible and magical. This is why they worked when other people were sleeping. They worked when other people were tired. They worked endlessly and tirelessly. They didn't work when they got tired. They worked when they were done.
Who was harder to, and when I say harder, who was probably more demanding, Michael or Prince?
You can't divide.
Okay. They were
can't
both.
divide. They expected you to tap into your greatness. That's why they called upon you.
And then, you know what? I remember you appeared on a tribute to Michael and you danced with Janet, correct?
Yeah. No, I did not do that. I danced with Janet on an MTV TV show special that they had, but not the tribute. No, I wasn't a part of that.
Oh, when they okay. I thought it was you and Lorianne.
That was Travis Payne, the choreographer. That was Travis. We're the same, complexion and the same height, but that was.
Well, I know you. I didn't. I'm not mixing you up with it. I just thought you were a part of that tribute. I thought so. Okay, my bad. All right. Well, that's exciting. Okay, so how did you get into acting, Darrin? Were you acting at any point prior to?
So after, remember the early stages of choreography. After that, then of course Michael, and then Prince, and then George Michael, and the Spice Girls, and the New Kids on the Block, and then Jordan Knight, and so all of that happened. So really what happened was I had a video out called Give It To You by Jordan Knight, a member of the New Kids on the Block. And we lost Vida Loca for best dance video. And I was frustrated. I was pissed off. Because we worked really hard. But of course, to Vida Loca, which I loved, if I was going to lose out to anybody, it would be him. But I remember saying that I wasn't going to be ignored. And not that I was ignored because we were nominated, but I wanted that MTV Music Award. Anthony Thomas, who was a street dancer, had won for Rhythm Nation. So I believed that I could get one as well. And so next year, this was the interesting thing. I was so frustrated. At first, I said, I'm done. Because I had worked with Michael. I had worked with Prince.
Right.
I've worked with everybody else, right?
Right.
And so by that time, when I did that, I had already started choreographing for Britney, already started choreographing for NSYNC, but I was done. And so I went on an audition and booked Soul Food. So
that was your first acting gig with Soul Food?
Well, no, my first acting gig was Broadway. I was on Broadway in a show called Stand Up Tragedy when I was 21 years old.
Okay.
But my passion was dance. So I went back to dance after the show had closed.
Okay.
And so my first acting gig was Broadway, believe it or not, right? Can you imagine your first acting gig is Broadway? My second acting gig, but first acting for television was Soul Food. And so Felicia D. Henderson casted me as Lem Van Adams in the television series Soul Food that aired on the Showtime network. So now I become this huge actor. I'm on the biggest television show on Showtime.
Yeah.
Overnight success.
Yeah.
And it was wild because, I had been a dancer and a choreographer my whole life. And so, it was very interesting because as I was doing that, I got a call from Johnny Wright, who was the manager for NSYNC and Britney. And, she was doing You Drive Me Crazy. And then Christina Aguilera came along, and I wasn't supposed to do another white girl with blonde hair, but I did Genie in a Bottle anyway. Right. Then he said, the guys want you to do their song. And I was like, you know what, Johnny, I don't act anymore. I mean, I don't choreograph anymore. I'm done. I'm an actor now. That's what I'm doing now. I'm acting. And he goes, no, you got to do this. This is their big song. their big debut on the No Strings Attached album. And anyway, long story short, he convinced me to do Bye Bye Bye. Well, as fate would have it, I choreographed Bye 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 in June. In September, I win the MTV Music Award for Bye Bye Bye. So now I get my MTV Music Award that I always wanted since Rhythm Nation came out.
Yeah.
I'm on a hit TV series.
Yeah.
You Drive Me Crazy Out by Britney Spears at the same time. The following year, I do J-Lo, Love Don't Cost a Thing. That
Yeah.
blows huge.
Yeah.
Then I put Darrin's Dance Grooves out.
Yes.
It becomes the biggest selling item in America. It was the biggest Christmas gift. Darrin's Dance Grooves became a phenomenon. All this happened within the year.
That's
my
crazy.
life changes. I become a multi-millionaire. I'm famous now. Everywhere I go, people know my face, and not just Black people, but now Caucasian people, Latino people, Asian people, literally all over the world. I'm flying back and forth to England because the video blew up in England as well. Darrin's Dance, and life just changes for me. You know, everything just changes. I went from this guy who didn't have any money relatively in the Bronx to a multi-millionaire in 2001, and everything happens from there. But, you know, I tell people that it all started with a dream.
Yeah.
It all started with a dream. And I followed my dreams. I believed in my dreams. I had faith. You know, faith without works is dead. You have to apply yourself. If you give up on Monday, there is no Tuesday.
Right. Right.
And so it's really, really important to find what you love and do it. Do it with haste. Do it with passion, and do it with love. And all your dreams, I believe, will come true.
And then from there, you went on to do film and more TV, and now you're on another hit TV show.
Yeah, Vivica Fox. I have to say this and just send her so much love. Vivica Fox gave me my first film. It was called The Salon. It was with Terrence Howard, Vivica Fox, Terrence Howard, Kim Whitley, Garrett Morris. I mean, we had so many players in that, and I played an attorney named Michael something, and became Vivica's character's love interest in the. So I'm over here, you know, kissing Vivica Fox in 2003. I was like, move over, Morris Chestnut. Morris was the guy that, you know, worked with her a lot, and but I said, move over, Morris Chestnut, in 2003. You know?
There's another chocolate drop in the house. That's right.
You know what I mean? They got caramel in it. It was an amazing time, and it still is. I still celebrate those things in my life that really set a precedent. So, you know, I'm thankful for them. And now I'm on 2 hit series, The Family Business and the Double Cross series. Like, I got 2 hit shows on 3 different networks, because Double Cross plays on the All Black Network. The Family Business plays on BET and Netflix. So,
right. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
You are blessed. You are blessed, man. And look, Darrin, that's not all you do. You came here and did you were doing line dancing
I put out one of the biggest years ago. I put out one of the biggest line dances to Mary J. Blige's I'm the One, which is still on YouTube as well. But yeah, I mean, as a choreographer and a dancer, you know, I did that, you know, when I was in Ohio, and then it went everywhere, and it was just so amazing. So amazing.
But you're also a fitness guru.
You know, Val, I don't know if I can take credit for that. I'm a health and fitness guy from the aspect of, I believe in being healthy, and I believe in being fit. And, you know, when I take off my shirt, whether it's, in Stomp the Yard, the family business, or soul food, I wanted to look good. I put out a DVD years ago called Get Fit and Stay Fit, which people still order today.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm a guru. And what I mean is I just like to stay fit. I like to be healthy. I like to look good. My wife likes me to look good, right? Like,
I'm sure.
it's so funny. Sometimes I turn around and I'm like, what are you looking at? And she's like, you.
All right.
So you know what I mean? Like it's so funny because, I forget, and when people look at me and they ask me my age and this and that, and, I forget certain things, but I do it because it makes me feel good. And I know that I've seen certain people in life, throughout life, who are of age in their 70s who can't walk. And when I talk to them, this is a teachable moment. Talk about life's teachable moments, right? I asked them, I go, well, did you work out when you were young? And they were like, no, I didn't. And people think it doesn't catch up with you. It does. So put in the time now. It doesn't matter what you didn't do yesterday. It doesn't matter what you didn't do last week, last month, last year. If you can hear this, if you can see this video, if you hear the sound of my voice, start now. And do it from today forward. Don't worry about and complain about yesterday. Start now because it will help you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so we say each one teach one, we reach one, because you go through it so you can grow through it, so you can ultimately glow through it. And that's what we want people to do is hear the word and be doers of the word, not just hearers of the word, but be doers of the word. You must take action and start applying yourself in ways that is going to assist you to become better.
Yeah. Look, the reason why I call you a guru is because, for one, I remember you're the person that introduced me to Dr. Sebi. I didn't know anything about Dr. Sebi until you introduced, and we were having a discussion because I was telling you at the time I was having health issues. I was having fibroid issues, and you're like, Val, what are you eating? And I'm like, you started running down, take that out. You don't need to be eating that. And So, and then you turned me on to Dr. Sebi, and then I've always known you to be healthy and, like you said, super duper fit.
Well, yeah. When you learn these things, and thank you for saying that. I appreciate you because, people think that it just happened. No, I've been doing this for years. When you come into knowledge, people tell you knowledge is power. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge is only potential power. It becomes powerful when you use it. And when you use it, knowledge applied becomes wisdom. And so I believe in having a wise dome, right? So you can take the information in and utilize it once you know it. See, I don't believe these things. I know them to be true. There's a difference between believing and knowing. And so when I talk to you about not eating pork, right? That has the trichinosis worm in it, right? People are eating pork chops and chuletas, right? Which is the Latin word for pork chops, and bacon and ham. And then they're suffering all these illnesses and don't know that it stemmed from these things that they've been eating. And then I was telling people, take black seed oil, right? Because it cleanses the body. It helps purify the body of certain things. And, it's like, look, you can only tell people, but they have to do the work. Now everybody talks about fasting. We've been talking about fasting for years.
Yeah.
I mean, fasting is biblical. When do people rise up? I don't say wake up, because waking up is associated to death. Wake is associated to death. Rise up. Or when you learn, your intelligence rises, or your energy rises, or your aura lightens and it rises. So, what we're talking is truly metaphysical. Remember, everything is in the ether before it manifests in the physical world. Thoughts and ideas have to be thoughts and ideas, which are energy, before they manifest into the physical world, which is why we say you are not what you eat, but what you think.
Right,
You
because
are
if
what
you,
you think.
yeah, because if you don't value yourself, you're not going to take care of yourself.
Yeah. And guess what? If you don't value yourself, you're not going to value anybody else. So people are complaining about people all the time. Well, did you take the time to learn how a person feels and sees themselves? If you were able to see how people see themselves, you might not rush into a relationship. Think about it. The term relationship means to relate, to communicate, to correspond. And a ship is something that you travel on, right?
Yeah.
So think about it. You're talking about being in the water. The waters are not always calm. They get shaky, right? The wind blows, right? Ocean, shaky, right? You're in a relationship. You're traveling together. Well, most of the people don't have great relationships with themselves. Most people aren't introspective with themselves. Most people aren't patient with themselves. Most people aren't kind to themselves. Most people aren't loving to themselves. For if they were, they would educate themselves on being the best that they can be. They wouldn't eat certain things. They wouldn't do certain things. They wouldn't say certain things, right? They wouldn't say, when people say they can't, then they probably won't. The people who say they can probably will, right? And so I give people what is called a kind of like a litmus test. And I'll show you what I mean for your viewers.
Okay.
If I present to you and I ask you, is this bottle half empty or half full? Well, the pessimist would say half empty. The optimist pridefully would say it's half full. Well, that's because I presented it to you with only two choices. You see, it's a question because I'm the one that presented it to you as only two options, half empty or half full. But that's only because you focused on the water or lack thereof. But if you're paying full attention and if you're fully aware, then you're paying attention to the things that are unseen because it has half water and half air. So actually, the bottle is full.
Okay. Okay. Good. Okay.
So
I
we
never
have
thought
to,
of it that way.
exactly, we have to be careful about what we are being taught. And when I say careful, who's teaching me and from what perspective? And how are they presenting what they're presenting? Because it's always your truth, their truth, and the full truth, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the difference. It's like awareness. Things are what you perceive them to be, right? They're only what you perceive them to be. Like there's a video that's going around, and I forget the gentleman's name, but he's a well-known actor, and I think he was on SUV, Special Victims Unit, that television show. I forget his name, but he has he did a TED talk, and he shows you these words, and he says, now repeat, what you see, and the people see it, and then he puts up different words, and it's the same visual, but everything changes
Okay.
based upon it sounds the same, but they're different words. It's very interesting, the dynamic of the lesson. And so things that we perceive aren't necessarily reality, but they're your reality, if that
Okay.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you can only perceive from your level of perception. And so those people who think small will only grow and go a certain space in life. Those people who are open to possibility will have much greater experiences. So when you talk to someone, be mindful of what you're taking in as truth based upon who those particular people are.
Well, you preached a word just now. You just preached a whole word. Darrin, so you are a husband, you are a father, you're on 2 shows, you just finished a documentary as well that's out. Sir, what
Yes,
does a day in your life look like?
It's beautiful. It's expansion. You know,
It's busy, right?
it's busy. It's challenging. I'm connected, meaning I have to be connected with purpose. I have to be connected with intention, and I have to be connected with vision. Right now, this is the last week of us filming The Family Business. On January 18th, the fifth season of Double Cross drops. And then I'm on a book tour. I'm literally in the middle of a book tour right now, right? And I'm also finishing up some films that I had started. I have a film out right now, A House Ain't a Home, which can be streamed on my website, thedarrinhenson.com. I'm busy, so my life is about schedules. And I have to focus. You know what they say focus is? Follow one course until successful. We don't stop when we're tired. We stop when we're finished. Or forget others, creating unnecessary stress.
Yeah.
That's what we say focus is. Follow one course until successful, or forget others, creating unnecessary stress. And so the same way I'm doing this interview with you, it had to be scheduled. Sometimes I do 5 interviews. I was just in Chicago 2 days ago. After I got off the plane from Chicago, I went straight to a Emmy celebration. While I was in Chicago, I had photo shoots, I had meet and greets, I had book signings, I met with the mayor, I met with members of Essence magazine. And I mean, it's a lot, but they're all scheduled. And then you have to find time to be able to communicate with those that you love.
Right. I'm just trying to understand, where is that time? If you're on this book, I mean, I understand your wife travels with you sometimes, right?
Yes, she does.
So that's helpful. But
that's incredibly helpful. It's incredibly helpful.
Yeah, I'm sure you need her there because you need to be rejuvenated,
Absolutely. You have to take that time for yourself. It was interesting. I posted on my Instagram today. No dream happens alone. It was a picture of Dr. King and his wife. And she's walking hand in hand with him. And I wrote, no dream happens alone. Chances are there's a strong woman walking, assisting you to help make that dream come true. And it is, it really is that visual that speaks to that. And I was also speaking about my wife, because I know how important she is in my life. Look, if anybody understands the entertainment industry, that's one perspective. But understanding and overstanding are 2 other levels, right? We understand so we can understand, so we can get to overstanding. And because she's a part of it, she does meet and greets herself, and she has her own line of T-shirts, and she models, and so she gets it. But at the same time, we are a team that understands that we refuse to allow the industry to consume us. We do the work, we turn off when it's time to turn off. We have 2 amazing dogs that love us, and we love them so much. And the dogs teach us great lessons. Even if you discipline a dog a certain way, 5 minutes later, they're licking your face. They understand what is called NET, N-E-T, no extra time. We don't have any time to be angry. We don't have time to be overly upset. We don't have time to grudge. We don't have time to waste time. No extra time, the NET, right?
Yeah. Darrin, I just don't understand the poor dogs, because you're gone all the time. How often do they see you?
Actually, sometimes we bring the dogs with us. Like you might see me post things on my Instagram page, which is I am Darrin D. Henson. And you'll see the dogs with us. You know, we travel the dogs with us because they're a part of our family, you know.
What kind of dogs are they?
They're cane corsos. They're huge cane corsos.
Dude, how can they go with you? They can go everywhere, can they? They can go
They don't
none.
go everywhere, but they travel with us.
Are you
You'll
serious?
see us post. I mean, I have stuff on my Instagram, and they're there.
Good goodness. Oh my.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, we're gonna take a real quick break. And when we come back, Darrin, I want to, I usually ask my guests, you remember Inside the Actors Studio, James Lipton, and
Of
he would
course,
ask
my favorite shows.
mine too. And he would ask everybody, the same 10 questions. So I want to come back and I want to ask you those questions. But everyone, if you want to contribute to the show, please feel free to do so through Cash App, PayPal, or Super Chat. Also, be mindful to share this live. We got a lot of nuggets. Look, he preaching over here. Share this live and like the video. Please, please, please. We'll be back right after this. All right. So, okay. So I love these questions. I always felt like this part of his show was my favorite part because you're getting all the in-depth, details of someone's life. But when you ask them these questions, you really get to know their personality. Okay. So, Darrin, here we go.
All right.
What is what is your favorite word?
My favorite word.
Mm-hmm.
Love.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay. What is your least favorite word?
Can't.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew that. What turns you on?
My wife.
Everything about your wife. What turns you?
No, I mean, yeah, that's what I think about. My wife and possibility.
Okay. Okay. What turns you off?
Bad smells.
Get it. I get it. Oh, okay. What sound or noise do you love?
I really love birds chirping.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. What sound do you hate? Sound or noise?
I don't hate any sound because that would be me going against being able to even be able to hear.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So all noises are accepted, but probably my least favorite noise, not hate, but least favorite is cars honking.
Okay. 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 What is your favorite curse word?
Motherfucker.
You know what? I think that word has won as far as almost every guest has said that, including myself. Okay. Yes. And what profession, other than the one that you have right now, would you have attempted if not in this business?
Anybody that knows me knows that I wanted to be a registered nurse.
I didn't know this. Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
Why a nurse? Why a nurse?
I love helping people and I love seeing people get better and healthier. And I love assisting and knowing that I'm of service.
Mm-hmm. Hence, Val, stop eating pork and read Dr. Sebi's stuff. Got it.
There you go.
That makes sense now. How about what profession would you definitely not like to do?
Not like to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, clearly I didn't do it, whatever it is. Um, but something that I wouldn't enjoy, I don't know. I don't focus on what I don't want. Yeah.
I believe it. I believe it. Okay, okay. And since, I know that heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Hmm. Well, the great thing is I don't have to wait. I listen to spirit all the time. And my position is to be the best Darrin that I could be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just, in real time,
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in procrastinating. I believe in doing what we are sent here to do. And I just pray that I am pleasing to the Most High, meaning I am doing what the Most High would have me do with
Mm-hmm.
Most High's children. I just want to be of service, and I just pray that I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yay. Okay, so now I have an additional question I like to ask all the guests. If you were a genie and yet, or had a genie and could grant 3 wishes, what would those 3 wishes be?
Um, to take people's pains away,
Mm-hmm.
to be
Okay.
able to show people their futures, uh,
Mm.
if they're
Or-
if they're wanting, and not just bad futures, maybe even, bright futures. Some people want to be multi millionaires. Well, this is what you have to do to get
Mhm,
to the position. So it shows them, right? There's a polarity.
mhm.
So those two, and then I think to be able to shelter and protect children at all costs from harm.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Okay. Now I'm gonna look in the chat. Chat, are there any questions in particular that you would like for me to ask Mr. Henson? Huh? Look, I have a question. Okay, so if you were willing to share, who or what situation that you have worked in, or who, because I already know you're not going to say a name. I already know you. So I want to know who was the most difficult person to teach how to dance. That's what I would really like to know. But I got a feeling you won't tell me this.
The person that at that time, for whatever reason, um, maybe because she was shy, or maybe because the record company was putting a lot of pressure on her,
I
was
can I guess?
Christina Aguilera.
Can I guess before you say it?
It was Christina Aguilera.
That's not who I was going to say.
But the great thing about entertainers is come as you are, just don't stay as you are, do the work. But yeah, it was difficult to teach her.
Okay.
But I think she was up against a lot of pressure at that time.
Okay. Um, and with that said, see, I was going to say Brittany.
Actually, no, definitely not Brittany. And we talk about this in my documentary as well. And I love them. Those are my girls. And they'll say, no, it wasn't Christina, it was us, SWV, because
What?
SWV didn't want to dance. They're like singers. They didn't care
Yeah.
about dancing. So I'll move Christina aside and say SWV, but they'll admittedly say that. And I say
Okay.
that with love.
Okay. Were you ever in situations where you felt like you couldn't please somebody, or you couldn't, like they were just too difficult to even deal with? Have you ever walked away from a project because someone was difficult?
No, as a choreographer,
Yeah.
no, not at all. I was blessed to work with people who wanted to, to grow and to learn something new. And I had an amazing time. Now, as an actor, um, there are people who sometimes, things have changed when it comes to the acting industry. People show up on set with their telephones, they're texting before a
Mm,
scene, doing all of this nonsense. And, they take for granted the medium acting, and I don't consider them actors anyway. I just, they're people who want to be famous. And that doesn't happen a lot, but it has happened. And I don't care to work with those people.
Okay. This is a great question. First of all, Azure TV, thank you so much for your super chat. During the Leaving Neverland fiasco of 2019, you stood 10 toes down for MJ. Did people in the industry put pressure on you to change your opinion?
No, they did not. And they couldn't change my opinion anyway, because I experienced him firsthand in 3D. So I, again, as I said earlier in this interview, you got to be careful who you're listening to, and knowing their level of information and their level of thought and their level of consciousness. I don't listen to nonsense. I just don't give the energy.
Azure TV, thank you for that. Hey, Darrin, with that said, you worked with Wade Robeson, right?
No, I did not. There was no reason for me to ever work with him. I actually taught him. I brought him out on the Britney tour and taught him what lighting design was, how I was choreographing the stage show. So he actually learned from me.
Gotcha. How did you feel about him reversing his stance on MJ? Or did you have an opinion? Well, I'm sure you had an opinion. Would you like to share?
I don't think about him. I don't think about anything he said. I don't believe it's valid. I don't believe it's true. I mean, everybody, it's been admitted that the parents were trying to extort him, and Michael was gracious enough to just say, here, just take it and go. So Michael said it himself, and I don't pay that garbage any attention. And those people who assisted him to even do that, there's just no space for them. I just have nothing to say about any of those people who were involved in putting that piece of garbage together.
Okay. Toya, hey Toya, out to Abstract. I have a question. Did the fact Darrin's dance grooves was featured on Napoleon Dynamite, did that help the popularity of the tape? That was later though, wasn't it? Napoleon Dynamite?
Yeah, it actually, he did it immediately after, maybe 2 or 3 years later. But everybody knows, they called it Dewan's Dance Grooves because we didn't give them the right to do it. So they called it Dewan's Dance Grooves. The same way they just did a new one. The thing is, I protect myself when it came to the dance steps. I own the rights to all of my dance steps. Bye, bye, bye. You drive me crazy. Love don't cost a thing. I own those. So people have to come to me to use those. They called it Dewan's Dance Grooves, and because it wasn't called Darrin, it's almost like a parody. But it showed the popularity of the DVD and how massive it was. They say the best form of flattery is, what it is, right? People copycatting. I'm flattered by it.
So Miss Joan Uncut says, is there anything that he does specifically to prepare for each role?
Great question. I remove myself from being on any social networks. I put my phone down. Sometimes I remove myself from being around my family, depending on how deep the role is, because I tend to drop into the characters. And so, sometimes it's difficult to be around people when you're in the character's head.
Okay. I remember I had to learn a script for something, and I asked you, I said, Darrin, I got to learn this script. I've never really done this before. This is a long time ago. And you said, okay, you were like, highlight this color and do this way. And I was like, oh my God, it was so much work just preparing the script to even learn.
Yeah.
But
that's what I'm talking about. There's so much that goes into acting, not just memorizing lines. And so, I tell people, if you want to be an actor, do the work, take acting class, find out what acting truly is. Don't just desire to be famous. Like, what is that? Like, do the work.
And Darrin is an acting coach. He teaches, he does seminars. Do you still do your acting seminars, Darrin?
I do, but I only do it for people who really care about the medium. There are people who reach me online, and I give them a questionnaire, and based upon how the questionnaire turns out, I'll give them the acting classes. And if they don't get a high score on it, it's something that I'm not interested in. I say, well, somebody else. It's not for me. I want to deal with people who really care about acting.
Got it. Thank you, Toya. Thank you. Let me see if there are any more major questions in here. So Darrin, tell us again. Oh, I know what I wanted to ask you about. So last year, I noticed you were talking a lot about like cryptocurrency and that sort of thing. Are you still offering those seminars and
Yes.
promoting?
So that's another great question. It's so interesting because my phone has just been ringing nonstop since Bitcoin has gone back up to 43,000. Now, the interesting thing is, and kudos to all of our students that took the courses. It was interesting. We offered the courses in 2016 and people didn't pay attention. This is when Bitcoin was pennies on the dollar. We told people to buy, and then later on, of course, in 2020, we really went full steam into the courses and brought a lot of people in. In 2020, Bitcoin was $3,000. And then, of course, as you know, it went up over $60,000 and then corrected recently within the last year to 16,000. We told people to buy more, and they were like, "Are you crazy? It went down from 60 something thousand, it dropped to 16." But we educated our true blue students to hold and to buy more, and they did. And so clearly you can imagine, they bought more, they made a lot of money. We've had people who've made millions of dollars, paid off their houses, bought new cars, bought houses. It was just a great space to be in, and it still is for those people who listened. Then I joined the Michael Collier morning show, and I was teaching crypto on the morning show. And again, for those people who listen, they've done incredibly well. And so, we're going back to offer the courses the first week of February. All people have to do is email me at ddgmail1@aol.com or come onto my Instagram and hit me on my Instagram, DM me and tell me they want to take the course. And, we provide the course. The course lasts 90 minutes. And as we told people, it was worth the money. Think about it. The people who came on, they paid, I think at that time we offered the cost for $100, and then it went up to $139 or something like that. But those people went from originally investing, to making thousands of dollars. Like, we had our first millionaire, I think in 2020, and then 2021, we had 3 new millionaires, and it was incredible. And those people held, they didn't sell their crypto. And a lot of people sold their crypto when we told them not to. We were like, just forget about it. Don't think about it. Go back to work, do what you want to do. Don't touch it, leave it there. And now it went up from 16 to 43. And here we go again. We're rolling again. And so, those people who didn't listen, what can I say? They're paying the price for it. And, they emailed us, "I can't believe it went up. We told you it was going back up, and it's going to skyrocket from here." The halving, for those people who know the crypto lingo, we told them to hodl, more crypto lingo. And, we discussed with them, even when we taught them about, silver and gold went up, so we did our due diligence. And so, yeah, for those people who want to take class again, we're going to bring it the very first week of February. We're going back into the classes, give them refresher courses, educate people, because guess what? You are going to need to know more now about fiat currency, your dollar, flat currency, crypto, more than ever now.
Yeah.
So I tell people, come on, follow the page. My page is HODL_now on Instagram. Follow the page. And again, you can email us and we'll get right back to you. And because we're serious about what we do.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So House of the Princess says, my daughter is 20 and took a breakdance, or I'm sorry, took breakdancing, and she is talented and wants to get back to her craft. How can I get her into the industry? Thank you, House of Princess.
Wherever she is, find your local dance studio to make sure that her skills are on par. Then most people don't pay attention to their own backyards. Your own backyard is important. And what I mean by that is find your local casting directors, find your local commercial agencies, get on local commercials, get involved with plays that are happening. People don't understand how important it is to practice. So before you can go out and get an agent, you got to do work. You can't get work unless you have an agent. It's the catch-22. In other words, be good at what you do, and it's going to lead you to exactly what you're looking for.
Excellent. Excellent. Let me say this real quick about soul food. Soul food was such a beautiful thing because everyone fell in love with the movie, right? And you all had big shoes to sort of step into. And sometimes when something is redone or I was excited to see it on TV, but I thought, I hope they don't ruin it, right? But it was incredible. It was beautiful. And all of you that were the cast that came on to take on that project, it appears that you all are still like family to this day.
We're still very, very close 24 years later. And again, I have to give kudos to everybody involved, with doing soul food. And the fans should know, they're actually talking about redoing it again, the same way The Best Man had some new episodes put on, on Peacock. They're discussing it now. So you may see us back on the screen as a family again.
Oh my Lord, if y'all did that, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
That would be so awesome. Okay. All right. Any last questions? I don't want to keep I told you this man is super uber busy. We're not going to keep him all night. Any other questions? Darrin, let me just say this too. Thank you for always saying yes when I ask you to do me a favor, either come and teach a class or have an interview. You have taught me a lot over the years, whether you realize it or not. I appreciate having people on. You answered some questions tonight that I never got to ask. I always felt like it would be too intrusive to ask you questions about Michael and Prince and all these people. And so this is a great opportunity for me to ask you some questions I always wanted to learn about. But when I said before that you are probably one of the hardest working men in entertainment, I was not trying to be funny. You really are.
Well, now I'm working smart and not so hard.
Good for you. Good for you. All right.
I just, like you, I want to be of service to people, and it's important. I mean, that's why I wrote my books, because the books have helped so many people. And if I may, I just want to show people what they are. So we have a really great book. It's called Ain't That the Truth? Acknowledge, Admit, and Invite Truth into Your Life, which is a book of positive affirmations, and just really powerful. And then we have, of course, the Image Award nominated book, Intimate Thoughts and the Spirit of Change. And this is Intimate Thoughts and the Spirit of Change too, but we had a different cover put on there. People like covers, so we got a cover put on. And then this has become a bestseller, Life's Teachable Moments. So this is a book that's very, very powerful. It's a self-help book. It's helped so many people, and they can all be received from just going to the website, www.thedarrinhenson.com. As well as the t-shirts, the God's Billboard t-shirts, positive affirmations. The t-shirts, go through it, grow through it, glow through it. I am more than enough. I'm already validated. Spiritual warrior. We have so many beautiful t-shirts on the website as well.
Excellent. Excellent. And to everybody watching, just so you're clear, I've already talked about this with Darrin. We will be talking about this interview tomorrow. So I'm going to do a little trivia tomorrow, and the people that win, or the person that wins that little contest, we will buy you a t-shirt, one of Darrin's t-shirts. You get to choose which one you want. Give me the size, and I'll make sure that you get one of his shirts or one of his books. Heck, I'm open. Yes. All right. Well, Darrin, thank you again for coming. I appreciate you. I don't want to keep you any longer. I love you. I've always respected you, and I hope you come back to the show again.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and everybody who is listening to this. I pray that you are well, and everyone that you love. Happy 2024. Thank you so much. And I'll see you on TV.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Darrin. Have a good one.
God bless.
All right, you guys. Mr. Darrin Henson was here. Yes. All right. So to everyone in the chat, thank you so much for joining us. Please still share this live. Make sure you hit the like button. And tomorrow we're going to come out here. We're going to talk about this interview. I'm going to see how well y'all were paying attention. All right. Brother was dropping nuggets, just gems, okay, of knowledge and whatnot. All right. But it was also really interesting to hear more about his life and career. Thank you guys for joining me. If you have any show ideas, if there's some people, someone that you think I should interview and we should invite to the show, let me know. You can hit me up right here. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Special thank you to my beautiful moderators. Thank you to everybody who super chatted. Oh, you know what? And here's the other thing. I want to apologize because I don't do a good job of checking the Cash App during the show. So forgive me. I want to thank the Ghetto View. Thank you so much for your Cash App. And those that have Cash App me before, during the show, I'm so sorry. Okay, please forgive me. Charge it to my head and not my heart. I always try to at least acknowledge it. If I know your email or something, or IG, and I know who it was, I send you a thank you personally when I do see it. But thank you so much to everyone. Again, I don't mean to say anything to, hurt anybody's feelings, but my friend's better than yours. Okay. I'm just teasing. Look, anybody who is working with Michael Jackson or Prince in my book, they just hold a special place in my heart, okay? And mine, for that matter. To everyone, thank you. I hope you all have a wonderful night. And I'm looking forward to my next interview, which is scheduled for Wednesday. I think we have a time. If something switches up, I'll let you know. To everyone here, please share the live, hit the like button. And yeah, that's it. That's all. All right. So have a great night, everybody. Smooches.